Hello everyone and welcome to this final lecture of Chemical Kinetics series. Now in this particular lecture we will look at the impact of temperature and catalyst on rate of reaction. So we'll start the lecture by looking at or studying the temperature dependence of rate of reaction. That is how the rate of reaction will change with change in temperature. Okay. So before getting into the details of how and why does the temperature changes the rate of reaction, let's look at the overall impact. Now, it has been observed that on increasing temperature, rate of reaction increases. And this increase is due to increase in value of rate constant. This is very obvious because rate of reaction depends on two things, rate constant and the concentration of reactant. Now the concentration of reactant will not change with temperature. Though theoretically you can argue that molarity changes with temperature as volume may change, but for all practical purposes we assume that molarity or the concentration does not change with temperature, and therefore the only way the rate of reaction can increase is because of increase in rate constant. Now we will first look at Arrhenius equation. Why Arrhenius equation is important is because the dependence of rate of reaction on temperature is given by this equation. कि rate of reaction temperature के साथ कैसे change हो रहा है, that is given by Arrhenius equation. Now according to Arrhenius equation, K is equal to A into e to the power minus EA by RT. काफ़ी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सी क्वेश्चन लग रही है, बट हम एक एक टर्म को देखते हैं और समझते हैं, एंड देन यू विल फाइंड इट रिलेटिवली ईजियर टू अंडरस्टैंड. यहां पर K क्या है? K इज अ रेट कांस्टेंट. A represents collision frequency or it is called frequency factor. In a way, it represents number of collisions between molecules happening per second. EA is the activation energy, which we will learn in short while from now. R is gas constant, T is temperature in Kelvin. And this whole term, e to the power minus EA by RT, ये जो पूरा term है, this whole term is known as fraction of molecules having energy greater than activation energy. ये term represent कर रहा है fraction of molecules जिसकी एनर्जी एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी से ज्यादा है. अब इस इक्वेशन को अगर हम ध्यान से देखें तो ये जो A है, A is assumed to be constant or independent of temperature. When I say constant, I mean constant with respect to temperature. तो if A is assumed to be independent of temperature, तो टेम्परेचर चेंज करने पर केवल एक ही टर्म चेंज होगा, दैट इज दिस वन. तो जो K के अंदर चेंज है, दैट इज हैपनिंग बिकॉज ऑफ चेंज इन दिस फैक्टर, विच इज द फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल हैविंग एनर्जी ग्रेटर देन एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी. सो देयरफॉर इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ टेम्परेचर चेंज impacts the fraction of molecules which have energy greater than activation energy. Now to better understand Arrhenius equation and variation of rate of reaction with temperature, let's understand the theory behind this equation. Now Arrhenius equation is based on collision theory. जो Arrhenius equation का theoretical concept है, that is derived from collision theory. Now, according to Arrhenius theory, a reaction occurs when molecules of reactants collide to form an unstable intermediate called activated complex. So, reaction क्यों हो रहा है? जब molecules of reactant आपस में collide करेंगे और एक unstable intermediate form कर देते हैं called activated complex. This is clear? Okay. Now, the energy required to form this activated complex is called activation energy. The energy required to form this activated complex is called activation energy. So Arrhenius theory ये कह रही है कि for a reaction to occur, reacting molecules must collide and form an unstable intermediate called activated complex, and the energy required to form this activated complex is called activation energy. Let's look at this graph given below to better understand Arrhenius theory. Now, at the start of a reaction, the reactants are present in their natural state. So over here, hydrogen and iodine gas are the two reactants present as it is. And if you look at the energy possessed by hydrogen and iodine, this is equal to, or this is shown by this dotted line over here in the middle, right? So this dotted horizontal line depicts the energy possessed by reactant molecules. Now, according to Arrhenius theory, reactant molecules collide to form an activated complex. So over here at point C, an activated complex C is getting formed. Now, this horizontal line over here represents the energy possessed by the activated complex. So it is very clear from this graph that the energy possessed by activated complex is greater than the energy possessed by reacting molecules. And this difference between the energy of activated complex and energy of reactant molecules is known as activation energy. So we need to provide this activation energy for reaction to occur, right? Now, this intermediate complex which is formed is unstable and it immediately breaks down to give product. So over here at point B, the product Hi or hydrogen iodide is obtained. And the horizontal line at the bottom corresponds to the energy of the product. Clear? So this middle line corresponds to the energy of the reacting molecules and the bottom line is corresponding to the energy of the product. And this difference in energy of product and reactant is basically the enthalpy change given by delta H. Now in this case, it is clear that energy possessed by product is lower than that of reactant. So this means delta H is negative, or it is a case of exothermic reaction. If you are plotting the graph for an endothermic reaction, the graph will end above the energy level corresponding to reactant molecule, maybe somewhere over here shown by the red line. And in this case, the enthalpy change would have been positive, and this would correspond to endothermic reaction. So important point is, as per Arrhenius theory, reactant molecules react to form activated complex which have higher energy than reacting molecules, and this difference in energy is called activation energy. So now we will look at collision theory, which is the basis for Arrhenius theory. Now, according to collision theory, for a reaction to occur, all the reacting molecules must collide with each other. This we also looked at while we were discussing molecularity. So, as per collision theory, for a reaction to occur, all reacting molecules must collide with each other. But all collisions between molecules do not result in a chemical reaction. Only few collisions or a fraction of collisions result in chemical reaction. Now, for a collision to cause chemical reaction, it must be effective. Okay. So basically what collision theory says is that for a reaction to occur, the reactant molecules must collide with each other. But not all collisions between molecules will result in a chemical reaction. Only effective collisions result in chemical reaction. Okay. So in brief, we can say for a reaction to occur, all reacting molecules must collide effectively with each other. Now what do we mean by effective collision? Effective collision होता क्या है? Now किसी भी collision को अगर हमें effective collision कहना है, so it must satisfy two conditions. A collision must satisfy two conditions for it to be effective. Now the first condition is related to energy. That is, colliding molecules must possess sufficient energy. Now what is this sufficient energy? They must have energy greater than the activation energy. The obvious question which will arise is, what is activation energy? So hold on, we will look at what activation energy means. But as of now, the first condition which collision must satisfy for it to be effective is that it must have energy which is greater than activation energy. Okay? We all know that all molecules possess energy, because of it they are constantly moving and colliding with each other and with the walls of the container. Now for these collisions between reacting molecules to be effective, they must have energy greater than the activation energy. Now the second condition is related to the orientation. That is, colliding molecules should have proper orientation. Okay, colliding molecules should have proper orientation. For example, let's consider the formation of water. Now in formation of water, hydrogen forms bond with oxygen. Okay, so hydrogen forms bonds with two oxygen atoms. So the collision must happen in such a way that two oxygen atoms collide simultaneously with hydrogen atom. Okay. Now if we have collision between two oxygen atom, that is of no use. If we have collision between hydrogen atom and oxygen atom in such a way that both the atoms are not able to clearly strike the hydrogen atom and form bond, it is of no use. So colliding molecules should have proper orientation and they should possess energy greater than activation energy. Now activation energy can be thought of or can be looked upon as the energy required to break the existing bond. In a chemical reaction, existing bonds are broken and new bonds are formed. So the energy which is required to break the existing bonds is known as activation energy. Okay, so it's clear. So if for effective collision, two conditions must be satisfied. First is proper orientation and secondly sufficient energy or energy greater than activation energy. So in brief, we can say collisions in which molecules collide with energy greater than activation energy and in proper orientation so as to cause chemical reaction are called effective collisions. Okay. Now before we look at how change in temperature impacts the rate of reaction, it is necessary to look at the energy possessed by molecules of a compound. Now any compound is made up of billions of molecules. So we need to understand whether all the molecules of this compound possess the same energy or there is difference in energy possessed by different molecules. How the energy is distributed among molecules. ठीक है, तो हमें ये देखेंगे कि जो डिफरेंट मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं कंपाउंड के, उनकी एनर्जी कैसी होती है. नाउ irrespective of state of matter भले सॉलिड हो, लिक्विड हो या गैस हो, they do not all possess the same energy. That is, energy possessed by different molecules of the same compound may be different. ठीक है, तो कुछ की एनर्जी ज्यादा हो सकती है, कुछ की एनर्जी कम हो सकती है. Some may have higher energy, some may have lower energy. Now, the energy which is possessed by maximum number of molecules is called most probable energy or MPE. So MPE क्या है? MPE is the energy which is possessed by maximum number of molecules. अगर मैं स्टैटिस्टिक्स से कंपेयर करूं तो दिस इज सिमिलर टू मीडियन, राइट? So MPE is the energy possessed by maximum number of molecules of a compound. Now, a small fraction of molecules will have energy greater than MPE, and a fraction of molecules will have energy less than MPE. And this energy distribution, which is basically a curve between the percentage of molecule or fraction of molecules vis-a-vis the energy, is known as Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution curve. It is known as Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution curve, and it looks something like this. तो यहां पर जो y एक्सेस है, यहां पर हम प्लॉट करते हैं द फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स या परसेंटेज ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स, नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स, एंड हियर वी प्लॉट द एनर्जी. तो कोई भी पॉइंट है कर्व पे, वो क्या दिखा रहा है? इट इज बेसिकली शोइंग what fraction of molecule या what number of molecule is having the particular energy, right? Now if you look at this graph, there is a peak in this graph. यह peak correspond कर, इस peak के corresponding जो number of particles, the fraction of molecules है, उसकी value maximum है. इस point से मैं कहीं पर भी चले जाऊं, left में कि right में, उससे corresponding fraction of molecules कम हो रहा है. So basically this point corresponds to the largest fraction of molecule या maximum number of molecule. और इस पॉइंट पे जो एनर्जी है that is known as MPE or most probable energy. So this is the energy which is possessed by maximum number of particles or maximum number of or the largest fraction of molecules. So I hope ये MPE का concept clear होगा. Now we will look at the variation in MPE by change in temperature. Now let's look at how changes in temperature impacts the energy which is possessed by molecules of a compound or molecules of reactants. Now when we increase the temperature, it is observed that maximum probable energy or MPE possessed by the molecules of the compound also increases. Let's look at the graph below. Now at temperature T, this is the graph at temperature T. Now at temperature T, the blue line is basically showing the maximum probable energy. Okay? And when we increase the temperature by, let's say, 10 degrees Celsius, the maximum probable energy shifts towards the right and is being shown by the red line. So clearly on increasing temperature, the kinetic energy which is plotted on the x-axis has increased. Okay? So the first point is that the maximum probable energy possessed by molecules of the compound increases on increase of temperature. Next what is observed is that the fraction of molecules having higher energy also increases, whereas fraction of molecules having low energy decreases. Let's look at the graph again. Now beyond this point, okay, beyond this point, if you move towards the right, the value of kinetic energy is increasing, and so is the fraction of molecules possessing that energy. Now this is the curve at temperature T plus 10. So clearly the fraction of molecules which possess higher energy is more than what was there at temperature T, right? Clearly beyond this point, the curve at T plus 10 lies above the original curve which was at T. So the fraction of molecules having higher energy increases, whereas fraction of molecules having low energy decreases. एक और बार, ये जो कर्व मैं भी दिखा रहा हूं, ये कर्व है बेसिकली ए टेम्परेचर T, और ये वाला जो कर्व है ऊपर वाला, ये है एट टेम्परेचर T plus 10. नाउ ये पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन है. इस पॉइंट के बाद अगर मैं राइट हैंड साइड में मूव कर रहा हूं तो मेरी एनर्जी बढ़ रही है, राइट। और जब इस पॉइंट से एनर्जी बढ़ रही है तो जो मेरा कर्व है t+10 का, वो कर्व एट t के ऊपर लाई कर रहा है। इसका मतलब है इस हर पॉइंट के ऊपर जो फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स जिसके पास ये एनर्जी है वो ज़्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स जो एट टेम्परेचर T पर थे। ठीक है। सिमिलरली अगर लोअर एनर्जी पे देखना है तो एट टेम्परेचर T दिस कर्व इज हायर देन द कर्व एट टेम्परेचर T+10। तो मतलब लोअर एनर्जी पर इनिशियल कर्व में फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स ज्यादा है। So that is what I am saying. The fraction of molecules having higher energy increases, whereas fraction of molecules having low energy decreases. अब इस कर्व में ये जो ब्लैक लाइन है ये दिखा रही है एनर्जी ऑफ एक्टिवेशन। और एनर्जी ऑफ एक्टिवेशन क्या था? इट वॉज द एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द रिएक्टिंग मॉलिक्यूल्स टू फॉर्म अ एक्टिवेटेड कॉम्प्लेक्स। ठीक है। और हमने पढ़ा था कि रिएक्शन तभी अकर होगा जब कोलाइडिंग मॉलिक्यूल्स हैव एनर्जी ग्रेटर देन एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी। तो क्लियर है जब हमारा टेम्परेचर बढ़ाया तो जो फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स है विच हैव एनर्जी ग्रेटर देन एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी वो भी बढ़ रही है। बढ़ रही है नहीं बढ़ रही है? फिर से ग्राफ देखो, ये जो लाइट कलर में शेडेड पार्ट है ये एडिशनल एरिया आ गया अंडर द कर्व, राइट। तो ये क्या डिनोट कर रहा है? ये एडिशनल फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स जिसकी एनर्जी एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी से ज्यादा है, राइट। बेसिकली ये जो शेडेड एरिया है, अगर मैं इनिशियल कर्व की बात करता हूं, जो ब्लैक वाला जो शेडेड एरिया है ये एरिया के डिपिक्ट करता है। ये एरिया डिपिक्ट करता है द परसेंटेज ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स having energy greater than activation energy या fraction of molecules having energy greater than activation energy। क्लियर है कि जो हमारा कर्व है T+10 पे उसका एरिया ज्यादा है। तो अगर उसका एरिया ज्यादा है मतलब फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स जिसकी एनर्जी ऑफ एक्टिवेशन से ज्यादा है वो भी ग्रेटर है। ठीक है। सो तीन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, जब हम टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज करते हैं तो MPE possessed by the molecule of the compound increases. Secondly, the fraction of molecules having energy greater than activation energy also increases, and the fraction of molecules having higher energy also increases. Okay? The most important point है कि fraction of molecules having energy greater than activation energy increases. Clear? So what we saw was that as we increase the temperature of reaction, the fraction of molecules having energy greater than activation energy increases. And what we are saying is that as the result of which the rate of reaction increases. So let's understand this point more carefully. Now, if you remember the Arrhenius equation which we discussed right at the start of this lecture, so Arrhenius equation is K is equal to A times e to the power minus EA by RT, where K is rate constant, A is frequency factor or collision frequency, and e to the power minus EA by RT represents fraction of molecule having energy greater than activation energy. और हमने पढ़ा था कि ये जो A है दैट इज टेम्परेचर इंडिपेंडेंट। इसको इंक्रीज करने से, टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज करने से A की वैल्यू चेंज नहीं हो रही है। तो अगर मेरे को K की वैल्यू चेंज करनी है तो आई नीड टू इंक्रीज द फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स हैविंग एनर्जी ग्रेटर देन एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी। एंड वी जस्ट सॉ कि टेम्परेचर बढ़ाने से फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल जिसकी एनर्जी एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी से ज्यादा है वो इंक्रीज हो जाती है। और इन अदर वर्ड्स ये जो फैक्टर है e टू द पावर माइनस EA बाई RT इंक्रीज हो रहा है। तो अगर ये फैक्टर इंक्रीज हो रहा है विच बेसिकली मीन्स रेट कांस्टेंट इज ऑल्सो इंक्रीजिंग। ओके, सो इफ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स हैविंग एनर्जी ग्रेटर देन एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी इज इंक्रीजिंग, it implies rate constant is increasing, and we know from general form of rate law कि rate of a reaction is directly proportional to rate constant. तो अगर rate constant increase हो रहा है तो rate of reaction will also increase. Therefore, we can summarize the effect of temperature by saying that as we increase temperature, the fraction of molecules having energy greater than activation energy increases, as a result of which rate constant increases and which causes an increase in rate of reaction. टेम्परेचर बढ़ाने से फ्रैक्शन ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल जिसकी एनर्जी एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी से ज्यादा है वो बढ़ जाता है, उसके बढ़ने से रेट कांस्टेंट बढ़ता है और रेट कांस्टेंट के बढ़ने से रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन भी बढ़ जाता है. Let's revisit the Arrhenius equation which we saw at the start of lecture. Our aim is to convert this Arrhenius equation in a form that is suitable to solve numerical problems. Now, for converting this, we would require use of certain properties of log. So let's look at those properties in brief and then we will go to the derivation. Now, the first property which we would look at is basically if you're taking log of anything to some power. Let's say here we're taking log of a to the power x. This is same as saying x time log of a. So this is the first property which we will be using. Log of a to the power x is equal to x times log of a. Second property which we will be using is log of a to the base a. यानी base और ये दोनों same है. So log of a to the base a is equal to 1. So these are the two properties which we will be using, and finally there will be one more property which we will use, which is log of x minus log of y is equal to log of x upon y. Okay, so these are the three properties of log which we will be using in this derivation. Log of a to the power x is equal to x times log a. Log of a to the base a is equal to 1, and log of x minus log of y is equal to log of x upon y. Clear? So now let's go back to our main slide. Now this is the Arrhenius equation which we saw at the beginning of lecture, which is k is equal to a times e to the power minus ea by rt. Now we take log on both sides, that is we take log on left hand side as well as log on right hand side. Equation does not change by taking log of both sides. So the equation becomes ln a minus ea by rt is equal to ln k. ठीक है, इसमें हमने दोनों प्रॉपर्टी यूज कर ली हैं. log of a to the power x is equal to x times log a and log of a to the base a is equal to log of is equal to 1. Okay, कैसे? Let me show it to you. So here we took log on both sides. Now if we concentrate just on e to the power minus ea by rt. ln के अंदर बेस क्या होता है? बेस होता है e. So this is basically ln of e and e minus ea by rt. So this will become equal to minus ea by rt ln of e to the base e, and we just saw at the beginning of this slide log of a to the base a is equal to 1. ln e is nothing but log to the base e. So this term will become equal to 1. So this is equal to minus ea by rt. So this is what we have used in getting to this point. Now, clear है? So what we did was we took log of both side and we took natural log, that is log to the base e. Now let's look at the second step. Now what we did was that since we are studying variation in temperature, we assume that the rate constant at temperature T1 is K1. So we would write the equation at temperature T1. So basically what we have done is that we have put T as T1 and the value of K as K1. So we get this equation. Now let's rewrite this equation again for temperature T2. So this is what we will get. ठीक है, क्या किया हम लोगों ने, हमने इस इक्वेशन का लॉग लिया दोनों साइड पे, तो हमें ये इक्वेशन मिल गई. फिर हमने इस इक्वेशन में t की वैल्यू t1 डाल दी और हमने अज्यूम कर लिया k की वैल्यू t1 पर k1 है. सिमिलरली हमने t की वैल्यू t2 डाली और हमने अज्यूम कर लिया k की वैल्यू k2 है. तो हमें ये दो इक्वेशन मिल गई. अब इन दो इक्वेशन को हम सबट्रैक्ट करते हैं. वी सबट्रैक्ट दीज टू इक्वेशन. तो उससे क्या हो जाएगा, ये वाला टर्म कॉमन है, ये कैंसल आउट हो जाएगा और ये बच जाएगा EA अपॉन RT1 माइनस EA अपॉन RT2 इज इक्वल टू ln K2 माइनस ln K1. ओके, ठीक है, हमने इक्वेशन इन दो इक्वेशन को सबट्रैक्ट कर दिया. बेसिकली हमने इक्वेशन नंबर 2 में से इक्वेशन नंबर 1 को सबट्रैक्ट किया, तो वी विल गेट this equation. Now by taking EA upon R common, we have taken EA upon R common, so we will get equation of this form, ln K2 minus ln K1 is equal to EA upon R into 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. Now at the start of the lecture we read ln x minus ln y, log of x minus log of y is equal to log x upon y. तो ln K2 माइनस ln K1 को मैं क्या लिख सकता हूं, ln K2 अपॉन K1. और ln को अगर मेरे को log में कन्वर्ट करना है, दैट इज टू द बेस 10, मेरे को उसको किससे मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, 2.303 से. ये हमने पहले भी करा हुआ है. ठीक है, तो इसको हम लिखेंगे ln K2 बाई K1 और इसको कन्वर्ट कर देंगे log टू द बेस 10 के टर्म में. तो हमारी इक्वेशन हो जाएगी log ऑफ K2 अपॉन K1 is equal to EA upon 2.303 R into 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. तो ये इक्वेशन हम यूज करेंगे टू सॉल्व न्यूमेरिकल प्रॉब्लम्स. अब इस इक्वेशन में ध्यान से समझ लें, जो K2 है वो है रेट कांस्टेंट एट टेम्परेचर T2 और जो K1 है दैट इज रेट कांस्टेंट एट टेम्परेचर T1 और T1 T2 दोनों केल्विन्स में होंगे. R गैस कांस्टेंट जिसकी वैल्यू होगी 8.314. EA एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी जो कि जूल्स में दी हुई होगी. क्लियर है? तो इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर्मूला इज log ऑफ K2 अपॉन K1 इज इक्वल टू EA अपॉन 2.303 R टाइम्स 1 अपॉन T1 माइनस 1 अपॉन T2. एग्जाम में डेरिवेशन नहीं पूछते हैं, बट फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग आई एम रिपीटिंग द स्टेप्स इन्वॉल्व. पहले स्टेप में हमने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड और राइट हैंड साइड में लॉग ले लिया, लॉग लिया हमने टू द बेस e, तो इसलिए ln आ गया. हमने लॉग की प्रॉपर्टी लगाई तो ये बन जाएगा ln a माइनस EA अपॉन RT इज इक्वल टू ln K. इस इक्वेशन में हमने टेम्परेचर की दो वैल्यू डाली T1 और T2 और उसके कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग K की वैल्यू डाली K1 और K2. इक्वेशन 2 में से इक्वेशन 1 को माइनस करेंगे तो ये स्टेप मिल जाएगा. फिर से हमने लॉग की प्रॉपर्टी लगाई तो हमें मिल जाएगा ln K2 अपॉन K1 इज इक्वल टू, ये जो टर्म है आपका राइट हैंड साइड में, ln K2 अपॉन K1 को लिख सकते हैं हम 2.303 टाइम्स log ऑफ K2 अपॉन K1 और 2.303 को हम राइट हैंड साइड में ले गए तो ये इक्वेशन हमें फाइनली मिल जाएगी. So this is the Arrhenius equation which we will use to solve numerical problems. Now let's look at a numerical. Now in this problem, it's given that rate of reaction quadruples, which is becoming 4 times when temperature changes from 293 Kelvin to 313 Kelvin, and you're required to find the activation energy. So basically we are given that the rate of reaction becomes 4 times between two temperatures 293 and 313 Kelvin. So we can take T1 as 293 Kelvin and T2 as 313 Kelvin. Now important thing is that when it says that rate of reaction quadruples or rate of reaction become 4 times, what it means is that rate constant becomes 4 times. That is, rate constant at high temperature, that is at 313 Kelvin, K2 is 4 times of K1. जब भी क्वेश्चन में ये दिया हुआ रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन बिकम्स 2 टाइम्स, 3 टाइम्स, 4 टाइम्स, 5 टाइम्स, व्हाटएवर, तो बेसिकली इट मींस कि रेट कांस्टेंट इज बिकमिंग 2 टाइम्स, 3 टाइम्स, 4 टाइम्स और 5 टाइम्स. So you need to express second rate constant in terms of first rate constant. So these are the things which are given to us, and since we are dealing with temperature change corresponding to change in rate of reaction, we need to apply Arrhenius equation. Okay, जहां पर temperature change का क्वेश्चन है in relation to rate of reaction, we need to apply Arrhenius equation. So Arrhenius equation is log of K2 by K1 is equal to EA upon 2.303 R 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. Let's put in the value. K2 की जगह डालेंगे हम 4K1, R की जगह 8.314, T1 की जगह आ जाएगा आपका 293 केल्विन और T2 की जगह आ गया 313 केल्विन. K2 की जगह क्या आया 4K1. ठीक है, तो हमने ये पुट कर दिया वैल्यूज. अब इसके अंदर से ये K1 से ये K1 कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगा. सो व्हाट यू विल बी लेफ्ट विथ इज log of 4 is equal to EA upon 2.303 into 8.314 और फिर ब्रैकेट में 20 upon 293 into 313. बेसिकली एलसीएम लिया और उसको सॉल्व कर लिया. अब इसको हम रीअरेंज करते हैं टर्म्स को, तो ये कुछ इस तरीके से हो जाएगा. log 4 की वैल्यू होती है 0.6, अप्रोक्सीमेटली इक्वल टू 0.6. ये वैल्यू याद रखो. log 2.3, log 3.48, log 4.6. okay, so these values you should remember or it will be given in the question. तो अब इसको अगर हम सॉल्व कर लेते हैं तो EA की वैल्यू आ जाएगी हमारी 52,679 जूल्स. क्लियर है? बेसिकली इंपॉर्टेंट चीज ये है कि वी आर एबल टू फिगर आउट कि ये क्वेश्चन किस चीज का है. टेम्परेचर चेंज लीडिंग टू रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन चेंज, इट्स अरेनियस इक्वेशन. ठीक है, रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन दिया हुआ 2 टाइम्स हो गया है तो रेट कांस्टेंट को 2 टाइम्स कर दो. 3 टाइम्स हो गया है तो 3 टाइम्स कर दो. की इन द वैल्यूज एंड सॉल्व, यू विल गेट द आंसर. कैलकुलेशन माइट बी स्लाइटली ट्रिकी बट with practice you should be able to solve it pretty quickly. और थोड़ा बहुत approximation कर सकते हो. जैसे 2.303 है तो take it as 2.3, 8.314 take it as 8.3 and solve it. Okay, let's look at second numerical. Now in this question we are given two rate constants at two different temperatures. So at temperature of 500 Kelvin the rate constant is 0.02 and at temperature of 700 Kelvin rate constant is 0.07. Clearly we are given two rate constant at two different temperatures, meaning it's a question of variation in rate of reaction with temperature. So Arrhenius equation needs to be applied. So we will first write the Arrhenius equation and put in the values of K2, K1, R, T1 and T2. So this is what we get. Now we can simplify it by cutting the zeros and we can rearrange the terms to give you something like this. Now this 500 has been simplified to 250 by cancelling it with 2. So this is where we are getting 250 from. Log 7 upon 2 can be written as log of 7 minus log of 2, which I put in over here. Now putting in the values of log, which will be given to you in the question, you will get this. And on solving this, we will get the value of activation energy as 18,231 joules. Again, fairly straightforward question. सिंपल फॉर्मूला लिखना था और उसमें वेरिएबल्स की वैल्यू को पुट इन करके सॉल्व करना था. जो भी थोड़ा सा मुश्किल पार्ट है वो शायद कैलकुलेशन है. सो अगेन एज आई टोल्ड यू इन द लास्ट क्वेश्चन, यू विल हैव टू प्रैक्टिस few questions to make sure that you are able to do these calculations easily and at a faster speed. Okay. Now let's move on to next question. Now, what does this question say? The decomposition of A into products has value of K as 4,500 per second at 283 Kelvin, and energy of activation is given as 60 kilojoules. Note it's in kilojoules, not in joules. So आपको क्या दिया हुआ है? रेट कांस्टेंट K की वैल्यू दी हुई है. रेट कांस्टेंट दिया हुआ है 4500 पर सेकेंड और टेम्परेचर दिया हुआ है 283 केल्विन और एनर्जी एक्टिवेशन दी है 60 किलोजूल्स पर मोल. तो हम सबसे पहले किलोजूल्स पर मोल को जूल्स पर मोल में कन्वर्ट कर लेंगे बाय मल्टीप्लाइंग इट बाय 1000. और फिर आपसे पूछा है एट व्हाट टेम्परेचर वुड के बी 15,000 पर सेकेंड. यानी ये K2 हो गया. तो K1 था 1500, K2 है 15,000 और टेम्परेचर T1 दिया आपको 283 केल्विन और T2 आपको फाइंड आउट करना है. अगेन अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ अरेनियस इक्वेशन, क्योंकि हम बात कर रहे हैं वेरिएशन ऑफ रेट कांस्टेंट विथ टेम्परेचर. तो फिर से हम अरेनियस इक्वेशन लिखते हैं और इसमें जो वैल्यूज हमें पता है वो डाल देते हैं. K2 की वैल्यू हमें पता है, K1 की पता है, EA पता है, R हमें पता ही है 8.314 और T1 पता है. तो ये वैल्यूज हमने यहां पर पुट इन कर दी. ठीक है. अब 15,000 अपॉन 1500 क्या हो जाएगा? 10, राइट. ये 2 0 से 2 0 कैंसिल हो जाएंगे, बचेगा 150 अपॉन 15 विच इज इक्वल टू 10. तो ये हमारी इक्वेशन बन जाएगी. लॉग ऑफ 10 इज इक्वल टू 60,000 अपॉन XYZ. नाउ लॉग 10 कितना होता है? 1, बिकॉज ये लॉग किसका बेस? लॉग में बेस क्या है? 10. सो दिस बिकम्स 1. ये वाला जो टर्म है log 10 कितना हो जाएगा? 1, क्योंकि ये 10 है और बेस भी 10 है. तो ये इक्वेशन बन जाएगी 1 और इस टर्म को हम ले गए लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में, 60,000 को भी ले गए लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में. तो न्यूमरेटर बन गया डिनोमिनेटर, डिनोमिनेटर बन गया न्यूमरेटर. तो इस तरीके का कुछ आ जाएगा. अब इसको सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे तो वी विल गेट 19.1 डिवाइडेड बाय 60,000 is equal to 1 upon 283 minus 1 upon T. ओके. अब 1 upon T को हम ले जाते हैं लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में और 19.1 upon 60,000 को ले आते हैं राइट हैंड साइड में. तो हमें मिल जाएगा 1 upon T is equal to 1 upon 283 minus 19.1 upon 60,000. अब इसको हम सॉल्व करेंगे तो वी विल गेट द वैल्यू ऑफ T as 310 Kelvin. Again, if you look at the question, very straightforward question, straightforward application है अरेनियस इक्वेशन की. केवल हमें उसके अंदर वेरिएबल्स की वैल्यू पुट इन करनी है. अरेनियस इक्वेशन पर बेस्ड जितने भी क्वेश्चन हैं टिपिकली काफी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड रहते हैं, एटलीस्ट एट बोर्ड लेवल. ओनली थिंग विच इज डिफिकल्ट इज परहैप्स द कैलकुलेशन. तो अगेन आई विल रिपीट कि क्वेश्चंस की प्रैक्टिस करें so that you become good at calculation. Otherwise, these questions are very straightforward. You should not have any problems in solving these questions as long as you are able to do the calculations. So we have looked at temperature dependence of rate of reaction so far. Now we will look at the last topic of chemical kinetics, which is the impact of catalyst on rate of reaction. So now let's look at how does a catalyst change the rate of reaction. Now, we studied that for a reaction to take place, reacting molecules must collide and form an activated complex. Now, this activated complex is unstable and it breaks down to give you product. Now, in terms of energy, the lower dotted line gives you the energy level for reacting molecules and the upper dotted line gives you the energy of activated complex in absence of catalyst. तो ये जो एक्टिवेटेड कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाने के लिए एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड है, दैट इज नोन एज एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी. दिस डिफरेंस बिटवीन energy of activated complex and energy of reactant molecule is known as activation energy. Now, in absence of catalyst, the activation energy is as being shown by this big arrow. Now, when we use a catalyst, reaction proceeds through a different path. Original path क्या है? This is the original path. And the path when we use a catalyst is this one. So clearly the energy of activation, या activation energy with catalyst is much lower. ये थी activation energy without catalyst and this is activation energy with catalyst. So what catalyst has done is that it has provided an alternate path. उस alternate path में भी एक unstable activated complex form हो रहा है, but the activation energy required for formation of this activated complex is much lower, as a result of which reaction can take place at lower temperature and at a much faster speed as compared to reaction without the use of catalyst. Okay, clear है? So catalyst impacts the activation energy of the reaction, and by lowering the activation energy it speeds up the rate of reaction. Great. Now let's look at some other aspects of use of catalyst. First of all, a catalyst does not alter Gibbs energy of a reaction. Now, thermodynamics में we have studied that if Gibbs energy change for a reaction is negative, that is, if delta G is negative, reaction is spontaneous. That means reaction is feasible. Clear? अगर free energy change किसी reaction के लिए negative है, तो वो reaction spontaneous होता है या feasible होता है. Now, because catalyst is not changing Gibbs free energy, कैटलिस्ट के कारण गिब्स की फ्री एनर्जी पे कोई चेंज नहीं आ रहा है. सो विच बेसिकली मीन्स अ कैटलिस्ट डज नॉट इम्पैक्ट द फिजिबिलिटी ऑफ अ रिएक्शन. दैट इज, इट कैन नॉट कैटेलाइज अ नॉन स्पॉन्टेनियस रिएक्शन. क्लियर है? क्योंकि कैटलिस्ट डेल्टा आर जी को इंपैक्ट नहीं कर रहा है, तो अगर किसी रिएक्शन के लिए डेल्टा आर जी पॉजिटिव है तो वो पॉजिटिव ही रहेगी. दैट मीन्स अगर वो रिएक्शन नॉन स्पॉन्टेनियस है तो इट विल कंटिन्यू टू रिमेन नॉन स्पॉन्टेनियस. सो दिस इज फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट अबाउट यूज ऑफ कैटलिस्ट. सेकेंड, कैटलिस्ट डज नॉट ऑल्टर द इक्विलिब्रियम कांस्टेंट ऑफ द रिएक्शन. इक्विलिब्रियम कांस्टेंट को कैटलिस्ट चेंज नहीं करता है. व्हाट इज कैटलिस्ट डूइंग? इट इज स्पीडिंग अप द रिएक्शन. तो अगर रिएक्शन को स्पीड अप करने से इक्विलिब्रियम कांस्टेंट चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, व्हाट इट इंप्लाइज इज दैट रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन फॉर बोथ फॉरवर्ड एंड बैकवर्ड रिएक्शन इंक्रीजेस बाय सेम एक्सटेंट. फॉरवर्ड रिएक्शन और बैकवर्ड रिएक्शन दोनों की स्पीड सेम परसेंटेज से इंक्रीज होगी because of use of catalyst, as a result of which equilibrium constant of the reaction does not change, और at point of equilibrium जो composition है product का and reactant का, वो composition change नहीं होगा. So two important points about catalyst: it does not alter Gibbs energy of a reaction, it does not alter equilibrium constant of the reaction. What it alters is the activation energy. So I hope the effect of catalyst is clear to you. So there are two ways of speeding up reaction. In fact, there are many ways, but the two ways which we have studied in this chapter are by increasing temperature and by using catalyst. With this, we come to the end of this lecture series on chemical kinetics. Hope you found it exciting and interesting. In this series, we looked at how the rate of reaction is expressed in terms of concentration of reactants in products. Then we looked at various orders of reaction and molecularity. We looked at the general form of rate law and derived the differential form of rate law for zero order, first order, second order and nth order reaction. From differential form, we looked at the integrated rate law both for zero order and first order. Now typically numericals are based on integrated rate law. And as far as your 12th class is concerned, most of the questions would be based on, rather 99% of your questions would be based on zero order and first order. If there is any question on higher order, it would be a generic conceptual question rather than a numerical based one. After looking at integrated rate law, we looked at how the rate of reaction varies with temperature and catalyst. And we studied all important Arrhenius equation in great detail. We looked at the derivation of Arrhenius equation and also solved a few questions to make sure that this concept is clear to you. So मेरी एडवाइस आपको यही होगी कि इस टॉपिक को अच्छे से कर लें. काफी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है, काफी सिंपल टॉपिक है, थोड़ी प्रैक्टिस की जरूरत है एंड इनफैक्ट सबसे मुश्किल चीज जो इस टॉपिक में आती है वो है कैलकुलेशन. Students find it difficult to apply log because most of them wouldn't have done log before. ये हमारे NCERT सिलेबस का थोड़ा लकुना है कि लॉग मैथ्स का पार्ट ही नहीं है, बट वी आर नॉट यूजिंग लॉग्स इन ग्रेट डिटेल्स. बेसिक फॉर्मूलेज, बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट चाहिए लॉग के, एंड यूजिंग दैट वी कैन इजीली solve the questions. Most of the values of log which would be required in the question would be given to you in the examination paper itself. So keep practicing, keep studying, and I hope you will find this topic easy. So goodbye from me, and we will meet soon with new lecture series on a new topic.